All right, so it's definitely time for a review when it comes to the Andreas Mercenaries DLC. It came out about a month ago at this point, and as per usual, like I do with pretty much every other GTA as well as Red Dead DLC, we got a review on it. And just, pretty much it's gonna be a quick video like on my thoughts on how I think Rockstar could have did better, or how just really overall how the DLC turned out and what people think about it. So if you guys do enjoy this or find this helpful, make sure to drop a like, and if you want to see more, then make sure to subscribe and put on post notifications. Start off with the actual release. So it was a lot more different compared to previous years. Usually Rockstar releases DLC in late July, usually like the 20th, 21st and all that, but this year they decided to go with a lot more earlier, and actually like the earlier part of June too. So it released June 13th, and the last time we even had a DLC release in June was actually back in 2017, and coincidentally it did actually release on the same day. But regardless, that made a lot more sense, because back in the day, Rockstar did have a lot more DLCs, and that summer we actually had 2 DLCs, which was the Smuggler's Run as well as Gun Running, which was pretty cool, and they actually ended up releasing during summer. So I don't know if Rockstar is going to do the same thing here. I think at this point we probably would have gotten an announcement. We'll see how things go. But regardless, the Andreas Mercenaries DLC was definitely something that was a little bit expected, because there was some leaks and stuff coming out, and a lot of people expected Rockstar most likely would release it earlier, just because they probably had something that they were going to be releasing in July or August. Of course, now we know that Rockstar is releasing the Red Dead Redemption remaster, or port I should say. So that's most likely why they could have done that. Or if this could be for the next GTA game, which is GTA 6, that could be releasing or could be getting announced sometime this year, and most likely will. But for the DLC itself, when I first seen the trailer, it didn't really seem that exciting. Yeah, there was some cool parts and missions, but it just kind of felt like it was gonna be the same thing that Rockstar released a few months ago with the Drug Wars DLC, as well as last year with Criminal Enterprises, where they're going the simple route. Instead of having a new business or anything crazy, it's just like a slight little update, new missions here and there, and nothing really exciting. And they pretty much just did the same exact thing that they did those months before. So the Andreas Mercenaries DLC, I mean, when it first released on day one, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely had a lot of fun with the missions. There was like 6 new missions that came out, as well as the 3 LSA missions, and they were fun. I had a great time. Yes, some were worse than others, especially with that one mission, with the plane and jets and all that. But besides that, I mean, I had a good time playing it. It was interesting, but Rockstar should have done more. It's a DLC, it's a huge update. This type of DLC or this type of update should have been something that they released, maybe throughout the Drift Fed months, small missions. But to have a DLC that we haven't, really seen, a new type of content thing, it should have been something that, had a lot more to it. And really overall, this DLC wasn't anything new. The main thing is just that they just upgraded the Avenger. The Avenger came out years ago with the Hangar DLC back in 2017, Smuggler's Run. And for Rockstar to just pretty much have a DLC based on that, where they just upgrade and add a new, computer screen and just base it around that, which is really, just lazy. Rockstar could have did a lot more with it, but they just kept it nice and simple. Vehicle wise, I mean, there was some cool things that released, others not really the best. I feel like it was just a bunch of randomized vehicles. There was some cool ones, especially ones that we've seen in Drift Fed that still haven't released. One of my favorites for sure is the Buffalo EVX, and there were some other old ones, but it's just a lot of the vehicles were just really just like, vehicles that I don't really see people using at all. Now or even probably in the future, because it's just a problem, and it's just not really that interesting, because it's just the way that it's built. A lot of people are more into supercars, it's just more modern cars, and some of the old ones are cool, but it's just a lot of them are just like really slow, and just if you're not really into cars for specific brands and all that, then it won't be something that a lot of people will look into. But overall, the vehicles, I did like them, and I think Rockstar did pretty good with them. Just the Drift Fed wise is just really not the best, because there's a lot of them are actually in Drift Fed, and it's just not really the best release schedule that they're having with it. And they're doing the same thing that they did last year, where instead of releasing a vehicle every single week, they're just gonna end up releasing one and then just wait like a month or 2 or a few weeks until they release the other one, which is dumb, but that's just how they want to do it. But the main thing about these DLCs is that Rockstar actually removed more vehicles that they added. So before the DLC release, Rockstar did have newswriter where they talked about how they were going to remove some vehicles that just were lesser used from players and all that, and they were going to add them back to like the casino or like the dealerships and stuff like that. And when we seen that, it was kind of dumb, but a lot of us expected maybe Rockstar is going to remove like 10 vehicles, something like just older, really lesser used vehicles. But they actually went crazy and removed like almost 200 vehicles from the game. And you know, there's a lot of vehicles that probably weren't used, but a lot of them were still used, especially people that, you know, are into vehicles and all that. And a lot of them were actually still pretty good, and some of them they were moved, but like they were actually still used by a lot of people, very popular vehicles. And I'm not sure why Rockstar just randomly thought, like, you know, let's just remove this. And what they could have done instead is just organize the website better instead of just removing them. So they just took it out. And that's not even the worst part. It's the fact that Rockstar removed them, but they also made it so that the only way to get some of them back is through GTA Plus. The only way they added the new, you know, Vinewood Car Club, and the only way to get it from there is if you have GTA Plus. You know, there is some cars that do release in the dealerships, but it's just like if you want a specific car, you're gonna have to wait weeks, months, maybe even, you know, years until you get the specific vehicle that you want. So that's just another thing from Rockstar that I don't know why they thought it was smart, but they did it, and now it's a huge problem. And they, you know, they obviously seen the controversial things that, you know, people have been saying on, you know, social media and, you know, that, but they don't really care, and they're just gonna, you know, obviously go on with this. So I don't know why Rockstar thought it was smart, but they decided to go that route. And then overall, I mean, drift fed wise, I mean, I'm glad that a lot of things were released on day one. There are some things that Rockstar did say for drift fed, like the Junk Energy Time Trials, which were released a few weeks ago, as well as like the security trucks. There are some other things that are coming out for Halloween, which are going to be a lot more exciting. But overall, I think Rockstar did a lot more better when it came to releasing most things on day one and not saving it, you know, for weeks later, just like they did with, you know, Drug Wars. You know, really did, you know, a lot with that. You know, Drug Wars were just a whole mess, you know, with the whole, you know, drift fest schedule. I don't know what Rockstar was thinking with that one, but this was a lot better. And for the new stuff, I mean, like I was talking about earlier with the vehicles, the Jet, obviously the Raju was probably one of the best vehicles that Rockstar added. Yeah, I think it was just really like the main staple, main important vehicle that they added in this DLC, and I think that was the one that pretty much everybody was, you know, focusing on. And then for the other stuff, like the new tactical SMG, I mean, it's cool to have a new gun. It's not anything crazy, it's pretty simple. So I mean, it was, you know, nice to have it, but it's not something that I think a lot of people are really into. And then the new progress stuff that we have on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, which is just like, you know, the way that you can unlock, you know, some main character outfits as well as some other rewards. You know, it's kind of nice. It's like a small like type of battle pass that Rockstar started to go with. And I think that's pretty cool. You know, some of the challenges that you got to do are kind of dumb. You know, there's a lot that goes into it, and to unlock like, you know, the Nico outfit, that could take, you know, months and months to just, you know, even complete. But I mean, if you're really into that, definitely go for it. But I think that, you know, at least new stuff wise, there wasn't anything crazy. You know, Rockstar did, you know, again, go with the new experiment, you know, improvements and all that, where they added, you know, new things that just updated some of the older stuff and just quality of life changes, which were great. Some of them better than others, some of them not even important. There was a few ones that I did like, you know, for example, like, you know, combining Secure Serve and, you know, the motorcycle club, and then also like instead of having to tap you know, X all the time, or, you know, or whatever, you know, that you use for your controller, you know, you could just hold it, which was really good. And then also like, you know, with Moore's Mutual Insurance, instead of having to, you know, keep calling them back, you could just claim all your vehicles at once. So yeah, there was some great, you know, quality of life changes that Rockstar included. Nothing too crazy though. But overall, I think there were just a lot of small things that it just fixed up, you know, just the little bugs and issues and all that. So it was, you know, nice to have those as well. Some of them I experienced, some of them I didn't. But really, overall for this DLC, nothing crazy was added. We pretty much just got a new tablet screen in the Avenger, 6 new missions, as well as like, you know, 3 some side missions, some quality light changes, and a few new vehicles. Rockstar definitely could have done a lot more better. I know the summer DLC usually isn't the bigger DLC that we get, but I think Rockstar could have definitely put a lot more thought into it. And there's a lot of DLC ideas that definitely, you know, can happen, you know, ones that came from Rockstar themselves, and of course from the community. But it's just overall nothing crazy was really added with this DLC. Not even a new business or property was really added. And I mean, it was cool that they updated the hangar as well. You know, now you can obviously do a few more things with it. You know, it's a bit more useful, but it's just really, this DLC seemed like it was just focused mainly on Rockstar just updating old content instead of really adding any new stuff. You know what I mean? So I think Rockstar could do a lot more better, you know, when it comes to these DLCs. And I think the Andreas Mercenaries DLC is considered as probably one of the worst updates that we ever seen in a while in GTA Online, and that really goes to show because the past 2 DLCs with Criminal Enterprises and Drug Wars, in my opinion, were really bad as well. But this one definitely is on top. I think Rockstar just went to the minimum and just really did the lowest amount of effort that they really could have did for a DLC, and they decided to release this. So definitely gonna be really nice to see some of the other stuff that they released, you know, with Halloween, you know, that is really considered as strip fed for this DLC. You know, that's gonna be nice, but we're gonna have to obviously wait like, you know, almost 2 months to even really see that. And then, you know, really overall, besides that, we just gotta wait like a month, and then after that in December we'll get another DLC. Hopefully Rockstar is better with that. So overall rating, in my opinion, for this DLC is probably like a 4 or 5 out of 10. It's not a bad DLC. Like, it was cool to play some of the new stuff, but it just really was just, you know, boring. It wasn't anything too crazy. I think a lot of people just probably played on day one, enjoyed, you know, new cars, enjoyed the jet, enjoyed the missions, and then just really didn't play that much after that, because nothing else was really added that was really that interesting to get on. You know, maybe people got on to check out the new armored trucks, but besides that, you know, no other stuff is really, you know, that, you know, interesting to make people want to play a lot. So Rockstar, I mean, I know that, you know, GTA 6 is coming out, you know, within the next few years from now, and I know they're probably focused more on that besides, you know, focusing on GTA Online that much. But I think that they could at least do good with just adding more content. I know there's a lot of ideas and stuff that they probably already have. Maybe some things that they cut from other DLCs, if they want to, they could throw it in, make it a lot more interesting. So we'll see how Rockstar does with the next DLC. Again, that should be releasing within, you know, the next few months in here. Probably within, you know, mid-December, we'll see that. So hopefully we just get, you know, a DLC that has possibly a new property, new business, something interesting, things to, you know, make people want to enjoy and play it more, and just overall do a lot more better than the Andreas Mercenaries DLC. So let me know thoughts in the comment section, what you guys think about this, you know, DLC that I released. If you guys did like it, if you guys didn't. If you guys enjoyed this video though, make sure to drop a like, and if you want to see more, then make sure to subscribe and put up post notifications, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.